we are generating ideas for what different projects we could do with these people, and then we're going to need to generate ideas for, products. We're generating ideas for what projects we can do with our partners, and then we're going to need to generate ideas for specific products, things we can create that would satisfy those projects. So lots of ideas to be come up with in E4H. And so here we are. Ideas. What ways are there? As you said, it's blue sky here. If you can't dream it, you certainly won't be doing it. But they don't have to be clear details. It's a fluffy cloud, right? We're not figuring out all the details right now. Instead, we're trying to see the big picture of all the different possibilities out there before we invest our energy going down to details on any one of them. But first, this is the warm-up from the design packet. Tap your mind and gut and heart, and draw your person. Just draw a situation in the future that would be awesome. And we're not worrying about how it happens yet, but just like one situation that would be amazing. So if Austin's principles were independence and security, just one situation that would just be fantastic. So just take a minute to just draw stick figures, very quick, a situation. And when somebody has one, just hold it up and share it. All right, let's see it.
I drew my grandmother
Hold on a second. It's coming around.
I drew her safely being able to hold her grandchild.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, that's a great example. And we don't know how that happens yet. But that's a great place to start, right? Embodying your principles in a picture. And now, come up with 3 totally different ideas for your partner. I said your grandmother. That's okay. Come up with 3 totally different ideas for your partner that could make that happen. Just really quickly. It can take a minute to do that. And you don't even have to draw them. Just write them down really fast. 3 ways that that thing could happen, that scene could happen. And when you have them, raise your hand. Just write them down as fast as you can. Right? We're looking for the big picture of all the ways. They don't have to be good. They don't have to be the idea, just some ideas. So do you already have 3? Oh, wait, sorry, you were the one who shared the need to hold. Okay, don't have any ideas. Yeah. Who was able to come up with 3 ideas? Just 3 ideas. Nobody has 3 yet?
So mine is she has a lot of repairs she needs to do on her house that she can't. So 3 ideas are move out, get a different house, have somebody else pay somebody to do the repairs, or get help to be able to repair it by yourself.
Right. So there's 3 right there, and then you could come up with ideas for how each of those might happen or whatever, right? But we're just going to get lots of ideas at this point. And design methods, again, help us get using these things to explore more ideas. And so ways to do that. As you might expect, you can do it with words, pictures, and your hands or body. So this is a brainstorm from IDEO. We use both pictures and words because can you imagine what this same wall of sticky notes would look like if it was just words? Like going back to oh, what was that idea? Much easier to find an idea again when there's even, a very simple picture, right? Look at these, right? These are IDEO designers. They can be really simple. You can also body storm, coming up with ideas using your body, right? This is how might, it's a little fuzzy, but how might, this is IDEO work, how might we sleep in business class? Sketching is something we do a lot. We've got a link to a more elaborate video that I love about sketching, but really simply put, this is all the sort of pieces that I think of the most. So I'm going to just pull up this. I'm going to give you just 4 tips. 3 of them are on this slide. Oops, we've got some. So I'm just going to recreate that really quickly. Sure. Yeah, and maybe some more paper if we have it.
There isn't more paper, but there were like 40 people. Sorry.
So these are really quick ways to have pretty real sketches. And this one I made really, really fast. I'm going to do it again really fast. But just, have people heard of 2-point perspective? That's what we usually use in in product design. And actually, we imagine those 2 points really, really far away. So if I know that I want this, rectangular thing, I sort of put some lines where I think that it's going to be. So there's going off into the distance on one side, and then going off into the distance the other way. That's pretty extreme. But oops. And then I can sketch in my rectangle. And the closer your points are, the more extreme it's going to be. That's why this angle is so extreme. You can, if they diverge less, it'll be less extreme, but at the same time, that does make it sort of feel real. And then the second thing I do, and then for my circle, for my oval, you're drawing an oval that sort of follows that same parallel. So that I'm just making the same thing here. And then whatever you draw, even if you just draw a sofa, it doesn't really matter. Like let's say I'm making a little sofa. Doesn't matter what I'm drawing, even if I'm just freehand drawing something like that. What'll make it really powerful is if you use line weights. And so there's 3. If an ant, my friend Harold Quintus Baz came up with this at IDEO, but if an ant crawls across a line and you can still see it, it stays nice and light. If it crawls across that line and disappears, but into your object, it's a little heavier, so that would be this line. I'm going to make it a little heavier. And if it goes around and it would sort of disappear into the background or like completely off your part, then it's heavier. Oop, look how that just pops off the page. Simply put, if nothing else, put a dark outline around your stuff and it pops out. You can also give it some weight sort of on the bottom if you want to. But that gives it 3-dimensionality and makes it pop. So you guys can follow along and do this. And then a really simple way to get people to hold things is just to add little ovals for their fingers. Ooh, now I'm holding this. There's a little one for my, right, and then there's my thumb oval. Look at that. Very, very simply, right? If you want to just communicate something really quickly, but this is a very, very quick sketch, and you can even make a couch pop better if you do this. But those are real basics of product design sketching in 2 seconds. Consider 2-point perspective. Play with different line thicknesses. Just outline your part. You can't see it, but oval fingers. So anybody followed on and made one of these? Who's got one they want to show? Oh, I see some great ones. Tiny, because we have these little tiny pieces of paper, but it's great, right? So these are really, really quick ways. Those look great. So that was just super quick, right? Using perspective, using line weight. And then, to be honest, what I actually do a lot of the time is trace. Your computer screen is an amazing light box. You don't have to print out the picture and then trace it, on a window, which I've also done, or go to a light box. Just trace it on your screen. And so if you know that you want something roughly cylindrical and that's going to have some other features, and you want to show someone holding it, just pull up a picture. This is Shutterstock. Throw your piece of paper onto your computer and trace it and use line weight. And then you can start adding your more features to it. But it's a quick way if you want to show people in a situation. Just pull up a picture, trace what's relevant, and then start to draw in the stuff that's new. quick drawing tips. All right, so those are ways to represent your ideas in pictures. Now, ways to get more, because that's what we really want. All design brainstorming methods that I've seen basically come down to changing the who, what, when, where, or how of ideas you already have, or coming up with new ones. So these were once crazy ideas. Rental cars and smartphone apps, they used to come from companies, right? And now they come from anyone, like other people. The doctor asks you about your health. Oh, change the what, right? Relationships. Now you probably get asked, you probably don't remember a time when you didn't, but they'll ask you about your relationships. You watch shows when they're on. When we grew up, now you watch them whenever you want, right? So changing the when, you get cash at the bank, now you can get them at the store, or who don't even need cash anymore. You call with your phone, you call with your computer, right? But these were like billion-dollar industries where they just changed basically a word in a sentence, and that's really what they all kind of come down to. So creativity and brainstorming methods, these are official ones, right? You can go look them up, but there's things like role storming or superstorming where you think, what would, insert person here, famous person, historical person, an astronaut, a child, or an older person, whatever, what would Apple do here? These are ways to get more ideas. Just change the who. You can use random words, like literally a random word generator, to be like, oh, well, what if it's like an umbrella? But it'll actually get your head thinking about new ideas. Change the what or where, like really extremely, exaggeration. And the how, actually, even. What if we had 1 second? What if we had a year? What if we had, $1 billion? What if we had magic? What if we had just $1? All those things will just get you thinking. Those are all official brainstorming, but they come down to changing the who, what, when, where, or how of your ideas. And then, of course, look around for more ideas. Google is your friend. You do not need to reinvent the wheel, and we ask you in the design brief for this project to look around. What's out there already that does this stuff? Because you might as well build on it. And then ways to keep a group creative. This is just a bunch of tips, but use your principles to drive you, right? Don't have to come up with ideas in a vacuum. Don't get stuck. That's why there's all those different methods. Try a different one when you start to dry up. Turn doubts about an idea into either a new idea or a question. You can always go explore that question later, but if you're worried, oh, is that going to be safe enough? Put that question there. Generate more ideas. Don't get stuck. Critiquing it. Start apart. Take some time to generate ideas on your own first, and then start to share them. This is how we always share in this class. Read and post one sticky, other people add more stickies that are similar to that, and then repeat. Somebody else shares just one sticky. Just read what you wrote, so there's time for a lot of ideas to come out. Don't pontificate about your idea, and then nobody else has time. And then keep adding more, but always sticky before you speak. It forces you to synthesize your idea into something you can say briefly so other people get airtime. To our projects, we come up with ideas both for, in the process review, for what different projects we could work on, and in the design review for the project we chose. For each of those projects, actually, what are different ways that we could create products that make it happen. So we start with just ideas for 3 new projects, and then oops, there's some extra slides in here. Ideas for 3 new projects, and just coming up with observations and principles for each of those. And then we dive in and we want those to respond to the principles that the people have. This is going to make a lot more sense when you're in the middle of the project. Again, explore with all of your tools. And then in the design review, you're going to actually come up with ideas for all of your projects to make them happen. And we want those to be as creative and collaborative and just wildly explored as they can possibly be. So now, go to your project spaces and drum up some ideas. In words and pictures, change that who, what, when, where, how. Turn any doubts into questions. Draw and write.